All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, hobby friends. Welcome to Hobby Hotline. This is episode 322 of Hobby Hotline. I'm your host, Logan Ward. And with me today is Hobby Great. I called him Icon last time. Mr. Stillgum himself, Chris Harris. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. How's you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I actually, yesterday was my first day of retirement, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes.
Lucky
Congrats.
you.
Thank you very much. 50 years of working and I'm done.
All of us Generation X kids are kind of jealous of you right now.
And we have a collector's dream, Orlando. Orlando, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Logan, and congratulations. And I'm retired too, so I joined the club.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Chris.
nice, man. I went out and mountain biked yesterday and then had pizza, and it was a great day.
Yeah, just enjoy the day. Do whatever you want. But really, when you think about retirement, this is what we've been waiting for all our lives. So enjoy every single day of it, and things that you've never done before, go out and do it. That's why I like to go do nature walks and things like that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, that's the plan, man, for sure. So we got a few comments this morning. Good morning, everyone, from Mad City Brew. Abel says good morning. Mad City Brew. Where's the Freddie GS ball? Let's see. Congratulations. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate that. The Mangini collection. Orlando.
Vote for John, president.
And Frank says good morning, guys. So good morning, everybody. So wanted to start off real quick. I wanted to show a couple of little things I found on the internet that I thought were funny. One of them was, and I'm not trying to poo-poo on the Yankees or anything like that, but I did see this on Twitter, and I just thought it was really funny. It says breaking. It's announced that Yankee superstar Aaron Judge will be in Times Square this New Year's Eve to help drop the ball. Thought that was kind of funny.
Put him.
And then
Logan will be here all week. Make sure you tip your waitress and try the veal.
That's right. I'm right here. And then there was this. It's Halloween related. The Stormtrooper meme. I saw this and I spit out my sweet tea when I saw it. It was just I just thought it was funny. I guess you could substitute the A-team in there instead of Stormtroopers. But anyway, I just thought those were funny. So let's get started. I know the big elephant in the room is going to be the World Series. My question to you guys is, what kind of effect does the World Series have on trading cards, and does this really bump a few players up? Does this bump a few players down? What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think this definitely bumps up Freddie Freeman's cards, mostly because I think he cemented his place in Cooperstown with this series.
Wow.
Well, maybe give him a few more years of playing time, but I think going the way his career had been going, I think this series, I think this got him into Cooperstown. So,
Wow. What are you thinking, Orlando?
Well, good morning, Stooks. Stooks is at the Dallas Card Show. I really think that Freddie Freeman did prove himself, and I think he was the shining star, I think, of the series for sure. And is he a surefire Hall of Famer? I think a couple years and see what happens. I think he needs a little bit more numbers, but definitely he's on track. You could see that everybody's finally woken up to him and see him. He's been a great player. He's been a great player for the Braves. All his career has been great. But I think now when you put him in the shining star of the World Series and then does what he does, that's going to put him up in the top tier players, up there with Ohtani, with Judge. And the other player that I'd have to say kind of made a mark also was Stanton. I think, even though the Yankees lost, I think he showed a lot as being a clutch player in the playoffs and the World Series. and I think he's going to get a lot of consideration, and especially if he gets to 500 home run. And I think he's close to that. If he can stay healthy a couple more years, I think, yeah, you're going to see Freeman and Stanton right up there.
So now that Ohtani has a ring, does this put him into the stratosphere now?
He's already been in.
He's already there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The
How
ultra
much-
stratosphere.
How much higher can he go? I mean, look at his ball that sold to an investment firm, I think in Taiwan for
Mhm.
$4.5 million. I mean, how much higher can he go? I think he's at the about the top as he can get at this point.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with everybody on the Dodgers, and you had those Yankees fans trying to pull off Mookie Betts' arm. That was crazy.
So sad.
It was very sad. I mean,
How did they let a couple of Philadelphians into that World Series?
It was a total embarrassment. I mean, for New York fans to see that. I mean, not only pulling the ball out of his glove, but grabbing his other hand. Come on. I've never seen something like that before.
I mean, they could have injured him, and
Yes.
I'm surprised that can he file assault charges? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, would that even be warranted? Do you think?
Yeah,
You think that's taking it too far?
Yeah, I think it's
a little
taking it
too far. I think they had their tickets revoked for the rest of the series. I don't know if they were season ticket holders, but I think those seats would be revoked permanently if they were. So
yeah, I hated to see that. I mean, the way they were bending his arm back and everything, I just thought, oh my gosh, if they injure him, this is going to be really bad.
Yeah.
But there's no call for that kind of behavior. I mean, I don't care how rabid of a fan you are. That's just way over the line, in my opinion.
It's just a baseball, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it goes
Get
to
one
show
at the souvenir stand for like what?
Yeah.
$10.
How desperate people are to have like even souvenirs like that. And you could go and buy a game ball at the souvenir stands now, and you could buy them on Fanatics right now. I mean, Fanatics is already selling. Well, it's a little bit of a ripoff. Autograph. They promote it as autograph team ball from the Dodgers, right? That's the way they put it. If you go on the website, and I think they want like $3,000. But then when you go in it and click, and it says guaranteed to have at least 7 to 10 autographs. 7 to 10 autographs. That's not even.
That's not even
nothing
a
of the
team.
third of the team. But so
and it's probably not going to include
ridiculous.
Ohtani.
No, it doesn't.
Or
I couldn't
Yamamoto.
No, it had a Freddie Freeman, but that was about it. But the other thing is that you can just go buy a game ball. I think they're selling for $25 or something like that, just a plain World Series Dodger ball. But to fight for it like that, so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Let me go back to the comments.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, it's White Sox Tom. He says they didn't want the ball; they just wanted him not to catch
catch it. Yeah.
And I think that's spot on.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
he
think
had
they were
caught
trying
it
to.
already. It was in his glove.
Yeah, he'd already caught it. They were just I don't know what they
dislodge it, but the umpire did get the call right. Called him out. So
in the spirit of the World Series, what about the kid in Game 1 that caught Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam ball? What do you think about that? I think that's a feel-good story. Apparently, when they got the ball, there was no fighting. Nobody was going crazy. Everybody was cheering and happy for the kid. I think it was just a great thing. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if the ball's coming right to someone, I mean, give the guy a chance. Instead of jumping, everybody jumps in like a pile. That's what happened with the Ohtani 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
Right, still fighting over it. But yeah, I mean, it's always great to see father and son like that. That's what it's all about.
Yep, there's the kid. I think his name is Zach. Congrats to him and kudos to him, man. That's super cool. They're saying, of course, you know how they talk about all these different, you know, special balls that are hit, that this is probably, you know, maybe a six, 7-figure ball. I mean, it's incredible to think that something like that, you know, is going to be worth that. But, you know, I think that was the first time that had ever happened in the World Series.
I don't know about 7 figures, but
yeah, I don't know about 7 figures. And
yeah, maybe 6 figures though.
Maybe 6. But still, it's a good story.
It's a great story. Yeah, those are the kind of stories you want to read about in this hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what was funny is his parents had told him that they were taking him to the dentist, and they surprised him with World Series tickets instead.
Wow.
So I just think that's so cool.
That is cool. That's awesome.
Imagine being a 10-year-old kid and you're going, oh man, I'm going to the dentist. Then your parents go, hey, here's some World Series tickets. And and then all of a sudden I'd be going crazy if it was me. You know, I can only imagine what a 10-year-old me would have done in that situation.
You know, that's once a lifetime. That's a memory for the rest of his life, and his kids and grandkids will hear about that story.
Oh yeah. I've heard they've done a media tour in LA and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's just a great story.
Yeah.
Catch up on a few comments here. Let's see. Yankee fans have been notorious for things like throwing batteries and beer cans at players. Yeah, good gosh almighty. Would you rather have a once in a lifetime World Series game ball or a Tiny 50? I don't know. I'd probably take the Otani ball since it's gone for so much money. I'm retired now. I could use the money.
Yeah, I guess for the money wise, but for the memories, you know, that game ball like that would be just something. I don't know. If I got that, I'd never sell that.
No, I wouldn't either.
You know, never sell that.
All right, so let's switch gears, I guess. This week, Allen and Ginter came out, and it's a pretty big checklist. And of course, you know, you have all the different eclectic people in there, all the, you know, the I guess there's all kinds of content creators, there's other sports celebrities and things
movie
like
stars, all that stuff in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's something I'll buy a blaster or two of Allen and Ginter. I mean, I don't collect baseball cards anymore, but you know, I do like Allen and Ginter just because of the variety of things you can get in there. One of the things that they have in there this year, and I think Chris, you guys, we were talking in the green room before this.
Yeah.
They've had some Westminster dog cards or some dog cards in the past, but this year they have a Westminster dog card insert set. Orlando, what are your thoughts on that? I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I like dogs. I've had dogs, and I actually bought the set on eBay of the previous one that they had before. It's just the little T206 size cards, and I like that. I mean, you know, I like Allen and Ginter. I like the Goodwin Champions too. They're all kind of the same thing. They have all these mix of different types of sports and dogs, and you know, one year they'll have like sandwiches and just a lot of cool stuff. You know, and I kind of enjoy it. I think it's a good mix. You can get some pretty good hits on there. Some pretty good autographs too, I've heard in there.
Chris?
Yeah, there's I think one autograph that I think people are going to be chasing after is Tim Robinson, the comedian, who is on the show I Think You Should Leave, which I don't know if you've ever seen that before. He has one character where there's one skit where he's dressed up as a hot dog guy, and he crashes like the Wienermobile into the side of the building. And everybody's looking at him, and he's like, "What? Why are you looking at me? We should all work together because we're all trying to find the guy who did this." It's kind of funny. So.
Yeah. I think a Bo from 1 Million Cubs, he opened a case, and I think he got like a Daddy Yankee autograph or something like that. So,
Oh yeah,
just a lot
yeah.
of odd stuff like that is pretty cool. Oh, they have Mantle and Clemente
That's big right there.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go out and buy a blaster box. You never know. So one of the things talking about the Westminster Dog Kennel or Dog Club show cards, there are also memorabilia cards. Check this out. This is a 1 of 1 of Frankie, aka Spuds McKenzie. But that's pretty neat. They have memorabilia.
That's pretty cool.
Cards. Looks like part of the ribbon.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really neat. And of course, here are some of the base cards. There's Rufus. And then we've got
I like
Rumor.
those cards. Yeah.
Yeah, aka Rin Tin Tin, for those of you who are older. But I really like Allen and Ginter this year. They also have a Memphis boy in there. They've got John Daly.
John Daly.
Oh, look at that, man. He's getting old.
Jeez.
Gosh, he
looks like Santa
Claus.
Claus on that.
Yeah.
They may have autographs of Daly. I didn't look at the autograph list, but there's a lot of autographs of just all types of different people from all walks of life.
Yeah. I asked the guys at the Tops, the Tops, whatever it was, that the thing they have at the National. I've asked them the last couple of years to say, how can I get on an Allen and Ginter card? And they're like, probably can't get on one. It's like, well, if I had enough money, I probably could get on one, I'm sure. I think it would be cool to be on a Allen and Ginter card for sure. But yeah, this John Daly card, I've heard that there's a chase card in there where he's smoking a heater. The variation, you got to.
And it goes with the theme because
there are
Allen
a lot of
and Ginter.
But yeah, I like Allen and Ginter. I will probably, when they hit the shelves at Target, I will probably buy a blaster and do a video on it and have some fun with it. But I really do like it. So let's check out a few more comments here real quick. Philly Joe says Spuds. Yep, Spuds McKenzie.
Spuds McKenzie.
And then let's see here. Stooks, Santa Daly, yeah. He just looks crazy out there. And of course, he always has those really loud pants where they're all kinds of crazy psychedelic colors.
But I tell you, the man can hit a golf ball far. I tell you,
he sure can.
Further than anybody else.
Rip it and rip it, baby.
Yeah. I wonder if he has a rip card, by the way.
Everything they've got in there. They've got the rip cards too.
Yep, they got the rip cards.
They got double rips, triple rip cards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Is that the first time they've had triple rip cards?
They've had them the last couple of years.
Okay. See, I didn't know.
So.
All right. Mookie says if you pull through the. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
There you go. All right. Somebody's beeping. Is that you, Chris?
Yeah, that's me. I gotta step out for just 1 second. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, Chris is heading out the door for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go back to my subjects here and my topics and see.
What else we're going to talk about here?
All right, here's just a fun one, real quick. Did anyone give out any card packs for Halloween? I did not.
I got to tell you, if we got 5 people in groups, I'm talking 2 or 3 kids at a time, that was a lot. I didn't even give out a full bag of candy. I still got tons of candy. My wife was already saying, I think I'm going to go back and return some of this candy.
Yeah.
But we just didn't have many people. I think what's happening now is a lot of the kids are going to different events. Here in the neighborhood, they had, like in the clubhouse where I'm at, they had just a big Halloween party over there. So everybody hung out there instead of walking the neighborhoods. So I did not give out any cards at all. I have done that before, though.
Yeah, I've done it in the past. I did it back when Donruss had their bags of cards that you could give out. And that's the last time I did it, which You know, that kind of dates me. That's what, back in the 90s. That's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But what I can show you what I did do. I'll show you the candy I gave out here real quick.
There you go. Ketchup.
I got ketchup and
Spicy
mustard
sauce.
and jelly. I gave out quite a few tricks along with my treats. So it was fun. I think the neighborhood kids may be on to me, but luckily my house has not been toilet papered or anything. So that's a good thing. But I do it every year. It's just something I've been doing like for years and years and years. But yeah, here are the packs that Panini and Pokemon, I guess. I don't know who makes Pokemon cards. I guess it shows my ignorance on that. But these are the packs that you could have bought this year to give out. I know that I saw online quite a few people were giving out like either the score a treat for the football or the haunted hoops for basketball and Pokemon. And from what I heard, Pokemon was probably the most popular of all the packs that people were giving out this year.
Well, Pokemon's become really, really big for the kids. You know, that's if you look at the hobby for the Pokemon, it's just about 75% of our kids versus the sports, you know, where you have mostly adults.
Yes.
And if you check, you know, the grading, CSG, I think 80% or 90% of the cards they've graded are Pokemon. And even PSA, I think almost 500,000 of their cards they graded were Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
So that is just going crazy.
It has gone crazy. You know, Pokemon and TCG cards, I think, are literally half of PSA's business right now.
Yeah, and PSA, this was a huge month for them. In October, they graded almost 1.5 million cards.
That's amazing.
I think it's crazy.
It is, and that's actually another subject that I wanted to touch on. PSA, they're on track, I think, to grade almost 16 million cards this year. That's incredible. From what I understand, I think they graded in 2022. I think they graded like 10 million. And then in 2023, they did like 13. So now they're up to 16 million. So they are cranking it out.
Yeah. And those 2 years were the pandemics too. And during the pandemic, I mean, right after the pandemic, where everybody was sending stuff in. But it's just, wow. My worry is that, you know, how much is too much. You know, when you think about it, we talked about this a little bit in the green room. When you think about how many, let's say, Otani cards are being produced just this year alone, with the Tops Now, I mean, you've got what, 500,000-600,000 every time they produce the Tops Now. When they have the base card, Topps base, I think, is over 1 million base cards of Otani. And then you've got the variations and so on and so on. I mean, you're talking, I mean, I would estimate 3 to 5 million Otani cards this year alone. And how many of those are being graded? How many of those can actually be collected, Logan? That's my concern, you know, and we were talking about that. How many of those can the hobby handle? You know, how much is too much?
Yeah, I agree. You know, and talking about how much PSA is graded, the thickness of a slab is like 1/4 of an inch. And if you take 16 million, that's what, 4 million inches? That's like 3,333 of feet of slabs. If you just stack them up. I mean, and think about it. Mount Everest is only 29,032 feet. So how many Mount Everest is that? That's like over 10 Mount Everests.
Yeah.
That's incredible to think that in California they were just shipping that many cards out all, you know, every day. I mean, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean the amount of plastic that's being used and and stuff, and you know, and they got to end up somewhere, and what's happening. And I'm going to a card show right after this. I'm going to the Fort Lauderdale card show, and I'm going to see it again. Full of slabs, $5, $10 slabs. I mean, tons of cards that are like dollar cards now, or some even less than dollar cards that were slabbed a couple years ago are now being sold for $5 in the slabs. And instead of being dollar boxes, now there's like dollar slabs almost.
Yeah.
I mean,
And nobody's going to buy them.
And you see now
the
kids, and we talked about a little bit earlier in the green room there about John Newman's article, and Chris, you talked about that too, that the kids now, are they really collecting these cards, or they're just looking to move the cards? And when you see kids nowadays at the card shows, their whole collection is in the Zion box. That's their entire collection, and when they go up to the dealers, because they're looking to move cards or trade or sell or whatever, and the dealer will say to them, well, which cards, are your personal ones that you don't want to sell? They're like, no, whatever, give me, if the money's right, I'm moving them. I mean, these kids are keeping cards 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months. Are people going to hold on to to these cards like me as a collector, 5, 10, 20, 30 years until I retire, like we just did? Is that going to happen? Is collecting still a thing? That's the question I'm going to put out there.
And you see these kids, and I wrote about this for Hobby News Daily last month. They're all slabbed. They're all chrome stocked cards because, who wants paper? There's not a single card in their little Pelican box that's older than they are. And these kids, we talk about 10xing the hobby. This is not the way you 10x the hobby, because these kids, they're going to be in for a rude awakening in about 3 to 5 years, or maybe 5 or 10. But there's going to come a day where a lot of these cards, no one's even going to want these cards. I mean, just the sheer, even if you have like a PSA 10 of a decent player, there's just so many of them out there that nobody's going to want them. And even if you have like a low number parallel of that player that's at a PSA 10, there's just so many parallels out there that no one's going to want these cards. So again, are we raising a new generation of collectors or not? Because I don't see a whole lot of these kids slumped over a dollar box, going through all the stacks and trying to knock off a checklist.
Yeah.
I think these kids are in it for the wrong reason, and that's trying to make an easy buck.
Exactly. I think that's the point. Now, is anybody going to want those cards in the future, those parallel and stuff? Yeah, I think people will want them, but at the right price, a couple bucks or something like that. They'll be collected in the future when the price goes down so much that, hey, you know what? These parallels look pretty good for a couple bucks. But, when you think about how many autographs do you need of Wemby, for example? I mean, for a collector,
But not even Wemby.
But come on. I mean, who's going to swallow up the million? Because eventually there's going to be a million Wemby autographs.
I think Ivan from GoGTS made this point. He was looking at the checklist for Stadium Club Baseball this year. And there are over 100 players that signed for the product, but some of those players don't even have base cards, which means that these are, scraping the bottom of the barrel level of player. Even if you pull a low number autograph of one of those kind of players, or if you get like a red, white, and blue die cut nuclear refractor autograph out of Bowman draft of some 8th or 9th round draft pick that eventually doesn't make it. Does it really matter of how low numbered it is if it's just some scrub player? Is anybody 10, 15, 20 years from now
Who's going to care?
going to want these cards?
Yeah. Now there are cards, that are going to be valuable, that are going up in value, but people have to be smarter about it. I was watching a video, I think it was Junkwax Hero, and he was talking about, I think it was him, I'm not sure, but anyway, he got the 86 Donruss Jose Canseco, which was his biggest dream card, and he wanted that card. He could never afford it, and he got it for Christmas, and he treasured that card. He put it in a hard case, and they told him to, I think his father also got him like a little mini safe to put it in, and said, hold on to that. That's going to be worth all this money and worth all this money. And he still has it today, and it's worth, $10, and, so you have to look at that, because that card back then was, that was $100 card way back in the day,
Yeah.
And now it's a $5, $10 card. But there were also other cards that people didn't even think about back then that are now worth hundreds of dollars of cards, so you gotta just find the right player, I mean, if you look at, what am I thinking? The Fleer Kirby Puckett card, back in the day, the update, it wasn't worth that much money. You could have bought it cheaper than that Canseco card. And the same thing with the Clemens card from that update set. You could have bought it at the price of the Canseco card. And now that Clemens and that Puckett are a lot higher, they've gone a lot higher. So, there are cards that are going to continue to go up. I don't know which cards they are until a few years from now, when they start all of a sudden going up. Look at the Star Jordan card. Now is when it's going up. They say it's hyped up and all that stuff, and it probably is overhyped and over, whatever. But, there are some cards that eventually, and that Jordan card back then was actually worth more than the 87 Fleer back when Beckett started, when the first Beckett came out. But eventually, it switched. The 87 Fleer became more expensive and more popular, and now the Star card is coming back and becoming more expensive and more popular. So, there are ebbs and flows in this hobby. If you've been in this hobby long enough, you're going to notice, you're going to see all that. And what you have to be careful is FOMO, that fear of missing out, where I got to get this Ohtani card now, this year that he just won the World Series, that's the FOMO. And it happens, with all players. Look at Justin Herbert. People were buying Justin Herbert card for $100,000, So the thing is, you have to be patient. You got to be smart in what you buy. You got to be smart in what you hold on to. And what you sell. It's just
Yeah, I still have a 100 count lot of Eric Davis rookies. He was going to be the next Mickey Mantle, man.
Yes, he was.
So he got cancer.
Yep. And the 84 Donruss Don Mattingly. That's actually is now a bigger card than the Canseco card.
Yeah. Yeah, White Sox Tom has something interesting in the chat. There's been a second Menendez brothers sighting.
Yeah, it's I think a 93 Ultra. I don't know.
No, it was in a 94 Upper Deck boxed set.
Yeah, that he's kind of dunking, and in the background you could see it. I saw that, and that's new. And yeah, exactly. That card now is going to shoot up just because of the Menendez brothers. Supposedly they're going to be released or whatever. But yeah, check it out. Maybe you could show it. But yeah. But you have cards like that eventually will come out.
Yeah. So, getting back to, is collecting still a thing? I, I'm beginning to wonder if it's not cool to be a collector anymore, and it's just cool to be a card, flipping cards. I mean, it's, I know us older guys, us old heads, we collect, and we try to collect sets and things, and even set collecting I don't think is a thing anymore, for the most part. Even though the PSA set registry seems to be doing quite well, I think set collecting as a whole is just not a cool thing to do anymore.
And to be fair, a lot of the products that are being made really aren't designed to be collected. They're designed to be broken. I mean, yes, you could still collect a base set. But on the other hand, if you're trying to collect all the inserts, good luck with that. I mean, you look at you look at the checklist for, I don't know, Topps Chrome Update Baseball, and there are just so many case hit level inserts and multi-case hit level inserts that why even bother trying to collect this?
Oh yeah, I mean,
you can't. Even if you had Elon money, you cannot collect a set that's 15 cards and all serial numbered to 10 or 50.
No. And then next year you have to do the same, right? Because you're a set collector. It gets to a point that it's, unfortunately, the fanatics they are just not in it for the collector right now. They're not thinking about the collector. But I mean, I'm always I look at it. I try to look at things positively because I'm a positive person. So I'm looking at it that, things go in ebbs and flows. It goes like that everywhere in politics and in cards. And I think what's going to end up happening is that it's going to have to go back to focusing on the collector, because all of these people right now that are flipping and flipping and flipping, we're going to lose some of those, but some of those are going to hang on, and they're going to look back and they're going to learn from their experiences and say, you know what? Now I know what the hobby's all about. It's not all about the flipping. It's about, you sell some, but you hold on to some that you like, or some that you feel that could have future value, or whatever the reason is, But I think that when people are going to revert, some of these guys are going to look back and say, this flipping thing's not working for me, but I still do love the cards. And I think I do want to collect some cards. And we're going to get back to that. And we're going to get back to that as the prices continue to go down. The collectors start coming back into the market, because a lot of collectors, and you talk to a lot of the collectors, say, no, I'm priced out of the market right now. Or they were, let's say last year. But now they're not going to be priced out of the market. Yeah, they're priced out of the boxes, the retail, the hobby box, all that stuff. Yeah, sure. That's because fanatics. But as far as when these things start coming down, and they're coming down now, even the vintage, if you look at some of the videos that Greg has done for Midlife, you can buy 60s Willie Mays cards for under $50. I mean, lower grade, but still. And I think that's going to draw a lot of collectors to that. And some of maybe the young guys will be drawn. And I am seeing some of them being drawn more into the vintage, or some more stable cards that are going to hold their value a little bit more. So I think what we're going through, honestly, this is a learning experience. Remember, most of these guys that have come into the hobby, the Jeff Wilsons of the world, 3 or 4 years they've been in the hobby. They haven't been in the hobby 20, 30, 40, 50 years like we have. So they're experiencing learning. And even now, Jeff Wilson is going back, and you see him getting involved in vintage, even opening a vintage cello pack. He didn't know what the hell that poster was, which is ridiculous. But, I don't know if you saw that video, but, the bottom line is, I think this is all a learning process for the hobby. And all of these new guys, they're learning. They're learning by trial and error, like we did when we were young. Hey, I bought those Kevin Moss cards and those Joe Charbonneau cards and all that kind of stuff. And you learn. And now I think we are turning the page into these guys saying, hey, this flipping thing ain't working for me as well as I would thought, but I think they're refocusing. And I think this is a good time. And as prices come down, collectors are going to flood the hobby. And I think it's going to be, overall, it's a good thing. It's like they say, you have to go through bad times to go through good things. We went through the 1929 Depression, and after that, it was the roaring, 30s. So I think that's what's happening in the hobby. Overall, I think it has to happen because that's the way people learn. But as time goes by, I think it's going to create more people that stay, and the people that are going to stay are going to be the solid hobbyists, the solid collectors, not the flippers that are going to come and go. And some of those are already leaving. I think a lot of those have already left the hobby.
Yes, I think they have too.
I'm a big believer in history repeating itself every 30 to 40 years. And I think we're kind of where the hobby was in the early 90s now. The good news is the mid 90s were a great time to be a baseball card collector because all of the rot in the hobby was cleared out at the end of the junk wax era. It left the I hate using this term, but the real collectors behind. And the card companies had to be innovative. And they had to make their products a little different. And yes, some of it was gimmicky, but you look back on some of those products in the mid 90s, and a lot of collectors look back with, why don't we have cards like this anymore?
Yeah.
Why don't we have Dufex or die cut cards or etched foil cards anymore? I think that day is coming a little bit sooner than later.
Yeah.
So
it was the time that a lot of people got out of the hobby and they had to innovate. They had to come on because the true collectors were still there. And those collectors who collected during the 90s really where fewer people were collecting, those people really did extremely well because you got some of those 90s inserts that today are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And why is that? Because there weren't that much interest in that. And, it was the time. And now I think we're going to get back to those days. Like you said, Chris, we're heading back to those days where get these not non-collectors that are in it for the money. They're eventually going to start getting out, and we're going to get those collectors back. And I think we are getting new collectors, and you see them. I think the industry that does the best is the Pokemon, because Pokemon's getting these kids really early, and they are, they're in love with these characters all the way through, and you see, they're holding on as collectors more than, you do trade the Pokemons and all that, but a lot of these kids are collecting them, where, we need to get more to start collecting baseball cards or racing cards or whatever cards, you collect. And I do think, going back to the beginning of the conversation, this World Series that we just saw is a big boost, I think, for collectors. I think this is going to really get people more into the hobby because of the excitement that happened. And some of these players that sometimes you just didn't see on a daily basis, like a Freddie Freeman.
So Jeff says that years 95 through 99 are awesome cards to collect. He says he loves to hunt now. I agree with that because some of the best racing cards, because I'm a NASCAR collector, like Zenith and things, those were made during that era, and I really didn't appreciate them then. But now collectors have come, like there's some Dale Earnhardt cards that are really hard to find. They've come to appreciate those now, and they're harder to find for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Those were the first.
And now that I'm older and have some more disposable income, I'm actually able to go back and collect a lot of the cards that I wanted to collect when I was, in my teens and 20s, but didn't have the money to make to afford them. I mean, to be fair, I was in the Air Force and I didn't make a whole lot of money then, but so.
And Brendan says, without the benefit of experience, new collectors will have to go through the rite of passage of getting burned like I did, and I did too. If they stay, it won't be because of financial gain. That's a true statement, and I agree with that one as well, because I can't tell you how many Greg Jeffreys I was buying up back in the day. You can see where I am now.
Yeah. Logan, I sent you a screenshot of that other Menendez card that was recently.
Okay, how did you send it?
Share screen.
Okay. Let's see. See if I can find it here. I don't know if it's under. Is it under? I don't know where it's at. Oh, I see it. Hold on, I got it.
Oh,
my
good,
bad.
good.
Here we
go.
There
it is.
There he is.
Okay, yeah, if you can see right next to Michael's knees, those two
with the white
young gentlemen right there. That's them.
I see them.
They're in card number 89 in the 1994 Upper Deck Rare Air set. Like I said, this was a boxed set. It's 90 cards, all of MJ. I believe that there was also a hobby exclusive gold version of this. But in order to get that, you have to open up the set and see if you got a gold card. They did the same thing in baseball, where one factory set in the case had gold holograms. So I think that was the year of the Jeter rookie. So something they'll chase after.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was wanting to talk a little bit, and we'll do it here in a minute, about some scary cards, since it is, Halloween time. Some cards that I have in my collection that are, to me, kind of scary. And actually, I have the other card, the Hoops card with the Menendez brothers, is one of my scary cards.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, Chris. Now I've got to find that card. So I guess good luck with that. Now's not the time to be getting it.
No, those are cards you could have gotten for less than $1. Now it's like, I think like $50 or something like that.
No, forget it, man. No way.
It's ridiculous. It's like the Menendez card. I mean, it was like a less than a 5-cent card, and then it went up to like $15 and $20.
Yeah, so I wonder if they get released from prison, if that's going to lower the value of their cards. I guess some of the mystique is them being in prison.
Nah, I don't think so. I think just
you will be able to get them autographed now. So.
That's true.
Yeah, do some TTM.
But who would want to, man? I'm not for me.
Yeah, no, that's a little over the top, I think. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what other topics that we can talk about real quick. Real quick, I want to touch on this real quick. The 1-of-1 triple auto Olympic card of Curry, James, and Durant. Where in the world is that card?
It's still out there.
Yeah. I mean, you would have thought by now somebody would have said, "Oh my God, I got the redemption, and I'm going to be a gazillionaire."
Well, they said that it has been sent out. They've all been sent out, so somebody has it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what they're saying. Somebody out there has it now. Who knows? There are still a lot of unopened packs for sale on eBay there for a couple $1,000s. They say maybe somebody has it and is selling other packs there to, because as soon as it's found, all those packs and all that's on eBay, the prices just go whoop down to nothing. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But I think it's got to turn up, or somebody already has it. I think somebody has it.
Somebody has it and is
Yeah, it's staying
keeping
quiet.
it on the down low because,
I think
you
so.
know.
Well, you know,
But it
could
still
be like
hasn't been redeemed yet.
Well, it
So
hasn't been
the physical
redeemed,
card is still in
right.
Topps' possession.
Yeah, but the redemption.
Somebody has the redemption, but they haven't turned
yeah,
it in yet.
it's out there somewhere, that redemption.
So do you think it's kind of like, you know, the smart people that win the lottery before they announce that they've won, they've gotten a lawyer involved, you know,
Yeah.
a financial guy
Probably.
involved, get
Yeah.
all that stuff, get that foundation laid, and then go, hey, I won this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's going on.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would maybe contact some private buyers that have money or something, golden or something, not really, not like golden, and try to sell it privately, just the redemption card. And that way you don't get involved. Your name is not out there. You know, if you want to stay private about it, you just get your money and go, and nothing, sell it privately offline. There's a lot. I don't know if they still have the actual bounties or not. There were bounties on that card.
Yeah, I don't know. And there were so many bounties and they kept changing and
Yeah.
everybody was trying to outdo the other one. And it was just crazy. I lost track of all that was going on. So like Mad City says that on eBay, that Jordan card is going from anywhere from 115 to 500
Already?
bucks. Jesus.
Wow.
That is absolutely
just
insane.
a few days ago it was like 50, 60 bucks, and now it's already 115 to 500. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be very few of them graded, especially and PSA 10s of those. I mean, who the hell would have graded that before?
No, nobody would have.
No.
You know,
because it was a boxed set.
Right. Who would even?
You're not going to see a whole lot of these broken up for singles.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
they will now.
Well, you know, as Fred Flintstone would say, oh boy.
for two killers, you know.
Yeah, Jesus.
Crazy.
The hobby sometimes it's just amazing to me. Some of the things that go on.
I could buy a low grade Jackie Robinson card for $500 versus a Menendez.
Yeah, let's think about that. Jackie Robinson, Menendez brothers. Which one am I going to pick? Jackie.
Or you can buy a box of Bowman Draft when it comes out
for $500. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
that's the other thing about collecting now is the box prices, but that's probably a topic for another day.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely insane, some of these box prices. So
it's unbelievable.
So I do want to show some scary cards. Let me find my cards here. Halloween, it always conjures up. What kind of scary cards do you have out there? What do you consider scary?
I got one card I wanted to share, and
okay.
one of the worst sets ever is the 91 Fleer, but they have one of the best insert sets, which is the Provision cards, and I love this because it's the Green Monster.
Oh gosh,
with the Green Monster in the background.
Mike Greenwell.
Greenwell. And there's the wall. I don't know if you can see the Green Monster back there with the. So I just wanted to.
It's so scary.
Just wanted to share that.
I hadn't even thought about Mike Greenwell in forever.
Yeah, he was a great player.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I have a card that I wanted to share that I found.
Okay, here we go.
So in the 90s, Pinnacle Brands made a set of inserts for their hockey card sets called masks, and it's just the goalie masks, but they're all done in Dufex, and I think they also did this for the NASCAR helmets as well, where they took each driver's helmet and made it Dufex. Well, this is the mask of a guy named Blaine Locker, who was the goaltender for the Boston Bruins at the time. This is from 95-96 Pinnacle Hockey, and you can just see the demon that he has on his grill. It's pretty scary looking.
That is kind of scary looking, man. That's a wild card right there for sure.
Yeah. And again, a
That's just
mid-90s.
one card, because a lot of the goalie masks, well, even now they're kind of scary. Some of them are pretty scary looking. So
Yeah, so Gordon says Mike Greenwell was his Greg Jeffries back in the day. There you go, Orlando.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, I liked Mike Greenwell. So you can show me all the scary cards you want that have Elvira on them. Yeah, there you go. That's a nice scary card.
hold on a sec. Let's see.
So I'll show you probably one of the scariest cards for me here real quick. It's this card right here. The 78 Topps Greg Minter.
Oh,
Oh, I got something else I want to show you too. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, just the airbrush and just, that card haunted me back in the 70s. It's like, I just couldn't. It just scared me to look at it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. How about this one? How about the Oscar Gamble?
Oh, heck yeah, man. That's a
With that
classic
hair.
right there.
Back in '76, nobody had hair like that.
No, he had a big afro, man. That thing is
That
unbelievable.
thing didn't even fit in his cap.
No. Here's one for you. Don Mossy.
It's got to be Don Mossy. I think all of Don Mossy's cards.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if with a good gust of wind he might fly away. You know, it's that was kind of scary.
The Dumbo ears.
Yeah, and then of course got a few others here. Here's the one I was talking about with the Menendez brothers.
Yeah,
the Mark Jackson card. You see the Menendez brothers over there off to the left.
Yeah.
And of course, this is this may not necessarily be scary, but it's probably been voted like the worst baseball card of all time. This Bob Hamlin card.
That's a classic.
That is a classic.
He doesn't even look like a baseball player. He looks like a nerd.
Yeah, that's just
he looks like a convict.
Like a convict with his Bob
mugshot.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 230 pounds.
Yeah, with the glasses.
25 to life for no.
But then you've also got to watch out for Wally Moon and the fuzzy worm going across his forehead there. That one is kind of scary. And I think I've got one more here for you. This one right here.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
That haircut is scary to me, man.
Time hockey right there. Yeah,
that's cool.
That is, man. With the bangs and everything else, that screams 70s for sure, no doubt. So yeah, I always I have a collection. I'm not trying to promote anything, but I do have a collection of what I call sophomoric slabs, and it's all funny slab PSA cards. And those are some of the cards I've got in my collection that I think are funny, or they're obscure or whatever,
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
So that's really cool. All right, well, we're getting close to the top of the hour, fellas. So Orlando, I know you're not on social media a whole lot, but what you got going on? Where can people get a hold of you? And got anything you want to say to the people out there?
Yeah, I'm only on YouTube, and you could catch me on A Collector's Dream on YouTube, and I'll put out probably 2, 3, or 4 videos every week. I put out some pretty good videos in the last week, which was the must-have cards from the 70s and from the 80s. So I showed some of the top rookie cards from the 70s and 80s. So you can go back and take a look at that. And I do a lot of card show videos. So I'm going to be going to a card show right after this, and I'll probably upload the video tomorrow on that. So that's what I got going.
All right, cool, man. What about you, Chris?
Well, next weekend I'm going to the Toronto Expo. It's 95% hockey cards, and I don't collect hockey cards. But the reason why I go is that there are a number of baseball dealers up there, and you're going to find stuff that you don't see often, especially on this side of the border. And that and I need some Tim Hortons in my life too. So they got the best coffee up in Canada at Tim Hortons.
Oh yeah,
And some donuts on top of that.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm still waiting for my Hobby News Daily article to be published. I submitted it a couple of weeks ago. Still waiting for Danny to get around to putting it out. Other than that, you can check me out on social media on whatever Elon's calling Twitter now, and check out Baseball Cardpedia as well. So, and more important than that, keep on rocking in the free world, folks.
And you know what? I think we're gonna end it on that. Everybody have a good weekend. Come back next week. Watch the next episode of Hobby Hotline with your favorite hobby content creators, and I guess we will see you all next week.
Later.